Off and on the clock. Today, we are going to take a perusal through a different part of the Underdog Lobby. Season-long pick'em projections are up now, and we're going to look at how some of these players compare, whether those are receiving yard lines, whether they're rushing yard lines, see if there might be some value opportunities based on what these prop lines are telling us, and then we will hop in a draft. Naturally, Underdog just dropped a bunch more contests over there on the NFL contest side for us. So we will do what we do best in draft. I'm Pete with Nez and John. This is Off and on the Clock. Let's do it. All right, we're back. One sport officially off your guys' plate with the NBA wrapping up. So you're just NFL and MLB drafters. And I guess what? A smidge of PGA here and there?
I don't know if you heard, Pete. We're WNBA savants now.
Really?
Well,
have you been in those streets?
But we've been messing around. We've been messing around with that. Yeah, no, but I honestly, a little bit of a relief to have the basketball off of our shoulders. We were primarily only doing pick'ems for the finals there, but it's kind of nice to shed that one and get fully into hot basketball summer here.
Yeah, I have been dabbling in the WNBA streets here and there. Whenever I get a chance and can pull up, the unabated projections, I'll fire off like a very strong batches of 50, 50, 50 and just get way over concentrated and see what happens. It's been fun. I'm trying to keep up now, because I want to get to a point where I can use the projections, but also I can eyeball ADP and have an idea of where people are incorrect. So I'm trying to learn myself some W, as they call it. They call it the W.
Is it kind of similar to the NBA dynamic in that you have a lot of people using ETR projections, and then is it just vibes based if you're not using ETR projections?
Yeah, ETR is a big one. I know some people use Roto Grinders because they have projections as well.
Okay.
And and people are starting to use unabated. Unabated is last to the punch because they're more looking at pick'ems and things like that. But I still use them. I still think that it can be useful. It is very, very much projection based. But you have once you learn okay, here's your high stock players, here's your high points per minute players. You can kind of eyeball certain things and take stances like that.
Yeah, I mean, I just checked it out. I haven't dabbled yet. Knowing how obsessed I got with NBA at certain stretches of the year, I don't know if I can cross that Rubicon. But 5K to first on a little Tuesday tip-off, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, that'll get my attention.
Yep. John, what have you been grinding MLB?
Yeah, a little bit there. Yeah, get 30 in a night when I can kind of deal. I had a decent one last night. Probably should have had a better fate than we did, but good winning night last night, and let's roll that over into today's show.
Yes, let's get that rolling. I'm sure some of you guys have seen some of the screenshots kind of starting to trickle out on Twitter and Discord. I know, Nez, you posted some. I saw Hayden post one earlier today, starting to look at these season-long lines, prop lines. And I think it's fun to look at and see where maybe the prop lines really differ from ADP when you're comparing players. But I also think it's a good conversation starter as well about how you think about projections, how you think about these lines that are essentially median outcomes, and how can we use that to our ability when we're chasing, right tail outcomes and 1% outcomes. So Nez, I know you, maybe to kick us off before we have some of these more philosophical conversations, you put together some of the more interesting maybe duos that you spotted in the lobby.
Yeah, I Googled a game show template on Google.com. Found a template to use, and we're gonna go ahead, and you guys are gonna play a game here. These are pretty straightforward. I have the questions listed, on here, but we got 5 questions here. Some are rankings, some are guess who has the higher projection. But let's just get right into it. You'll see. I think you guys are gonna have some fun with this.
Love it. So we got OTC ball knowing show. How much ball do we actually know? And I will say here, I have, other than seeing a few tweets, Nez, I saw a few of yours, like I mentioned. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I'm going in cold. I did not, go through the lobby. I'm not intimately familiar with all of these.
The only thing I've seen was Hayden's tweet this morning there, and the pick'ems in which you've shared that I have played alongside there early, Nez, with the I guess it was who was the main center point of those? Jack Bech lowers.
Some Jack Bech, some Cooper
Yeah.
Cup. Yeah, some of those have moved already. So these are very fluid markets.
Okay.
But yeah, without further ado, here we go. Which rookie projects for more rushing yards? Kaleb Johnson or TreVeyon Henderson?
My brain instantly goes like, this one's an absolute layup. It has to be Kaleb Johnson.
I'm the same way. I would be pretty stunned if it was TreVeyon. Again, it's almost like TreVeyon Henderson is the Jaylen Warren, and Kaleb Johnson is like the Ramondre. And I think you would pick the Ramondre in Caleb's side to almost always lead more with rush yards. So are John and I correct, or are we being duped?
No. You guys are correct. You guys are correct. It's Kaleb Johnson. I'm just a little surprised that the TreVeyon projection compared to Kaleb, considering where Kaleb Johnson and TreVeyon go ADP wise. So I thought that was a little makes you think, because Henderson goes like 10 picks ahead of Kaleb right now.
For the audio listeners, 699.5 rushing yards for TreVeyon Henderson, and then almost 150 more there, 849.5, exactly 150 more for Kaleb Johnson. Yeah, because I think a lot of the enthusiasm about TreVeyon Henderson is what he's going to do in the passing game. But yeah, I guess it's to me it's like a bullish. It's almost more bullish for Kaleb seeing that number.
I was just about to ask you guys, like, who do you think it is this screams more bullish for? And I actually had the opposite reaction of you, Pete, where it's like I expected this to be the Kaleb Johnson number. This makes me a little more bullish on TreVeyon, because the work that I had mentally like circled him in for was like that third down stuff and like some of the receiving stuff. And now I'm like, whoa, they're also giving him 700 rushing yards here. I'm intrigued, right? So that piques my interest a little bit more. The Kaleb one, I'm kind of like, yeah, that makes sense.
Can you, Nez, because it's unfortunate, I can't in a pick'em state actually pull these up. Could you tell me, or one of you guys, what the Ramondre and Jaylen Warren rushing lines are for these backfields? I'm curious how close, because you'd almost kind of project these offenses fairly similarly, I feel like.
Okay.
So go ahead, John, if you got it.
Nez, you got Ramondre pulled up. I got Jaylen pulled up. Okay. You do Ramondre, but let's get Pete and I to guess that one, and then I'll get you and Pete to guess the Warren one.
Well, I know I got a spreadsheet right here. So
you got them both?
He's got it.
Okay.
I'm the one that's blind here.
Who do you think has the better rushing yard projection, Pete, between Warren and Ramondre? I mean, I guess it's sort of obvious.
Yeah, I think it would be Ramondre. Like, I'm wondering how like mirrored it is with this, but just flipped.
Yeah, so 724 rushing yards for Ramondre at pick 122.
Okay. And what's Warren's rushing yards?
524.5.
524.5. Yeah, so I'm with you now, John, of like looking at that this seems very bullish for TreVeyon Henderson, that they think he's going to get that much work in the rushing game.
Yeah, they've basically split the rushing yardage in half, and then everything that we like about TreVeyon was the third down and the pass catching stuff. So, yeah, maybe I'm shifting to Team Siegel on the Henderson ranking these days.
And it's maybe we should take just like a pit stop for like thinking about these lines as they pertain to rookies, because if I had to, obviously you want to apply context and look at these specific numbers. I think on the whole, if you bet lowers on rookies across this market, you probably come out ahead. Whether the offenses are bad, whether they don't take over the job, whether they get hurt, all of those variables, but yet they're screaming targets for us in fantasy, because we know when they do hit, they can destroy these numbers in a way that's impossible for the books to set efficient lines.
Yeah, well said. I think it's just like almost impossible to have mean projections with zero sample, right?
Yeah. I mean, what are you going off of? Just like historical data that we don't have on these guys. Just like coaching styles and stuff. So I think there is definitely the most edge with the rookies for sure.
Yeah. This is a good one from Nick in the chat. He's asking what Henderson's receivings look like, and they're not listed. It's rushing only for the running backs right now, or for these running backs right now.
Yep. That was a good one there. And yeah, like you mentioned, Nez, what is the spread on these ADPs? Henderson, what, like mid 6th round pick, and Kaleb, what, late or early 7th, mid 7th right now?
Yeah, Caleb's pick 74, TreVeyon's pick 64. So they're exactly 10 picks apart.
Yep. Yeah. And it is interesting of, I think the market, where they have, their teammates, Warren's at 98. So they are respecting Warren as more competition for Kaleb than Ramondre, who's priced, at 122. But there are a lot of parallels there between those duos.
Yeah. Would you guys rather have Kaleb straight up right now?
Over TreVeyon?
If price was equal?
Yeah.
Oh, or you're saying if TreVeyon? No, I want TreVeyon. If
you still want TreVeyon,
yeah. Or you're saying including price, because TreVeyon's the more expensive one.
Yeah, he's as Nez alluded to, 10 picks higher.
Yeah. Yeah, and Emo shouts out New England has the second easiest schedule. Expect to run heavy attacks that both guys can eat. And I think there's a lot of ways it can work for TreVeyon, right? Like he's going to have some rushing work just as a base level. Like they're not going to give Ramondre 20 plus. And then he could also be that efficiency guy. Like a lot of, I think his profile indicates he could be, Gibbsian in how I didn't look.
My fault. I got my finger, like, does that ever accidentally happen to you when your hands like resting on the mouse and you just like accidentally like puts enough pressure to click the button? Anyways, maybe just me.
You need finger condoms, bro.
All right, what do you got for us next?
Okay, yeah, sorry. That was not like the Oscars music, but all right. Here we go.
Okay.
Rookie rushing yards. Cam Skattebo versus Quinshon Judkins.
I think I'm going to be so disappointed.
It feels like a trap again.
It feels like a trap. So disappointed, man.
It has to be Judkins, right? It has to be.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Pete. Like, I think that the Skattebo one's going to, have me taking 1 foot off of the mount in the mount up once I see this number. I think it's going to break my heart to find out that he's like,
is it 500
or something? Yeah. Like, I think it's going to break my heart
that
there's like a 200-yard difference here.
Yeah, I think John's right. I'm going to guess 600 for Skattebo and like 950 for Judkins.
Whoa, 950 seems high. Okay, I'm going to go 789 on Judkins, and I'm going to go 555 on Skattebo.
Well, what was Kaleb just at, Nez? What was Caleb's?
Caleb
850. Yeah, so yeah, I had to go higher than that for Judkins.
I think Judkins will be lower than Kaleb, despite their ADPs.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Well,
let's see it.
Let's find out. Let's flip the card over. 549 for Cam Skattebo, 649 for Quinshon Judkins.
Bearish on Judkins.
Holy crap. That was tough to see. That was tough.
So this is similar to the Henderson one. Makes you more bullish on the Skattebo here, I think, relative, and especially because he's going to have pass catching in his game and touchdowns in his game, and then way more concerned on Judkins.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Man, that Judkins one is scary. What's Judkins ADP? He's above Kaleb, right? But he's like 23 at RB or something.
Yeah, 73.8. So I guess it's not that big of a gap.
Right.
They're back to back. It's no gap at all. 73.8 and 74.7. But that is a huge gap in rushing yards, especially when you figure that Kaleb is going to project for more receiving yards than Judkins as well.
There's a lot of guys below Judkins that project for more rushing yards. I mean, we talked about Ramondre, he projects for, 725 compared to the Judkins 650. This is off the cuff. Well, I'll just say it straight up. Quinshon Judkins projects for the same amount of rushing yards as Justin Fields right now.
Wow. That's perspective. Wow. That's cool.
So you can draft Drake May, or no, who, you need a pocket corridor. You can draft Jared Goff and Quinshon Judkins together when you take Justin Fields.
Yeah. Think about that.
Nice.
Yeah, this is interesting too. Judkins is one of the only players with a slider by their rushing yards. So you can sort of like, I think you can like bake in some like upside with Judkins, which I would agree with, right? I mean, like this is sort of the overarching philosophical point that we haven't like obviously like dug into super, super heavy, but like there's a lot of variance in these. And the game that we're playing, we're obviously shooting for upside. I do think that if the Browns catch teams by surprise and they are actually good, I think Judkins is a smash. Like I think the ADP makes sense if things align, and I don't think it's totally out of the question. I think we think that they're going to be bad because more often than not, when you play out the season, they will be bad. But if they're good, man, I think Judkins is smashing.
Nez, Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Pete. Yeah.
I was just going to say the other thing that this number makes me think about, and I've been, thinking about this a little bit too. And this was from like when Sean came on Best Ball Breakfast, because he's a big Dylan Sampson bull, and Gretch was talking about it too, that there's maybe more ambiguity in how this backfield is going to get divvied up than, maybe the ADPs indicate. And this also makes me more Sampson curious than anything too. They're saying like, this is no lock that he's running away with even this starting job.
Yeah, took the words right out of my mouth, Pete. I was just about to ask Nez, can we guess the Sampson one if Nez brings up the Sampson one?
They don't have it.
They probably don't have it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had the exact same thought. I was like, this makes me like very interested in those 18 round Sampson shares. Well, sometimes they're 17th round now, but yeah.
Is there the chat's wondering, we said there's no Sampson. Is there a Tracy one, Nez?
There is. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys want to just like guess the number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess 850.
Ooh, I'm guessing 649.
724 for Tracy.
Okay. I'm too high on all my guesses.
And just like, who do you think projects for more touchdowns, Skattebo or Tracy?
Ooh, that's fun.
I'm guessing they're giving it to Tracy.
I'm gonna guess they give it to. I guess they give it to Tracy by 1, but it's split like down the middle. Like Skattebo's 3.5 and Tracy's 4.5.
They're tied as a trick question. 3.5 each.
3.5 each. Okay.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Splitting the baby there.
Yep. And then the ADP check there for everyone. Tyrone Tracy 103.5, Skattebo 107.3. And again, I think that's a good illustration too of like Tracy should be like the slight favorite from a median expectation. But like if Skattebo wins the job, like these numbers could all look silly, like in both directions, right? Like the range of outcomes is pretty wide there.
I think that's a really good macro point to hit on, Pete, like range outcomes. Like people in the chat right now, like Joey's saying, that's only 38 rushing yards per game for Judkins. But like he might not touch football for 5 of them, or he might be injured for 3 of them or whatever. Like we don't think about the whole pendulum of the spectrum right now when we just simplify it to like one isolated number, right? We got to keep the whole landscape in mind.
Yep. All right. That was a good one. Nez, what do we got next?
Okay. Guess the rushing yard difference between Lamar Jackson and Chase Brown.
Okay.
Well, you already gave us a clue with the Justin Fields versus Quinshon Judkins. But man, the
186 between them
in favor of who?
For who?
in favor of Chase Brown.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like this is going to be tight. I can't believe it. Could it be like I'm going to say it's a sub 100 difference. I'll say 75-yard difference.
Ooh, you guys basically middled it. It's 100. It's a 100-yard difference.
Okay.
749 for Lamar, 849 for old second round Chase Brown.
Wow.
849 in the second round. That's what, 20 yards off of Kaleb Johnson's in the 7th round.
Mm-hmm.
What is Kyron's? He's the running back who goes right behind Chase Brown.
Yeah, why don't you give me a guess? I'll let you know.
Do you think it's higher or lower than Chase Brown, Pete?
Oh, I think it's higher. I think it's gonna be like 1,100 yards.
Ooh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I'd guess 9
But I'm high on all
985.
my guesses.
What did you say, Pete or John?
985 for Kyron.
Kyren Williams is the last 1,000-yard rusher off the board, or yes, the last 1,000-yard rusher off the board. 1,024 for him.
Okay.
Tight end.
Off.
Okay. And then while we're on Kyren, yeah, so he's ADP 33, last 1,000-yard rusher off the board. Touchdown projection for Kyren Williams, rushing touchdowns. What do you guys got?
7.5.
I was gonna say 7.5. I'll go under and say 6.5 then.
11.5.
Wow. Wow. That's
What's Chase Brown's?
Chase Brown's is 5.5.
Wow.
Dude, that's the most shocking one I think we've heard yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that deserves its own slide.
It's wild too, because the Rams now have added in back-to-back years to this backfield, and in a way that the Bengals have not, just draft capital wise too. That's really interesting that they're baking in way more risk for Brown than Kyren. But it does make sense that Kyren from a median standpoint projects so well, because it's just assuming full workload like we've gotten from him the past few years.
Did you guys see there was a Greg Rosenthal quote this morning that was floating around? Did you guys see this?
Mm-mm.
He said, I'd rather have Kyren Williams than CMC on my team. More durable, more dependable.
Jeez,
more like all
shots
this
fired.
Stuff. Dude, now it's got me thinking, with that 11.5, do you think CMC's projected for more or less touchdowns than Kyren Williams rushing right now? Because I'd have to guess lower now.
For who? CMC's rushing?
Yeah, CMC rushing touchdowns versus Kyren. That 11.5 caught me with my pants down. That was shocking.
CMC's got to be like 12.5.
Yeah, I think CMC's like 8.5, even knowing the Kyren one.
CMC is 6.5.
It's because the does it have receiving TDs for him though?
There may be. I just straight up pulled rushing touchdowns only for him.
I would like to bet higher on CMC 6.5 TDs.
Absolutely.
The rushing ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but well, maybe we could progressively build one as we go here. That's a good one. Okay, I'll be the build guy because I don't want to look at the stuff. So I'll just type in his name and then add that one. Okay.
All right, we got how many? What? Two more, I think. Two more of these slides left.
Okay, this is fun though. I like this.
Yeah. All right, rank the wide receivers for receiving yards here. We got Rashee Rice, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Jauan Jennings.
Which order do you want us to go in? From most to
yeah, let's go most to least here.
And this is receiving yards, right? Not receptions.
Yeah, just receiving yards. I don't think we have receptions up here.
Okay.
You want first or second, Pete?
You know, snake draft it.
I think DK Metcalf is gonna have the highest here. What do you think, John?
You gotta go all four.
Oh, I gotta do all of them? Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody does.
I will go DK Metcalf, Rashee Rice, DJ Moore, Jauan Jennings.
I would go the exact same, but I would flip DJ Moore and Rashee Rice. So I'd go DK, DJ, Rice, Jennings.
All right, here we go. The big reveal. DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, and Jauan and Rashee are tied with 924.
Wow.
Nice.
That is that's some I mean, obviously it's fascinating, right? Because Rashee is like the most trendy player in best ball right now with how much he's moved up. And a lot of it that you're playing for are the receptions, right? Like you're saying he's going to be, in this case, a 0.5-point PPR merchant. But yeah, that's a sobering number. And God, it makes me so more bullish about clicking Jauan Jennings anytime I have the chance.
Yeah.
He's not the last 924 receiving yard player to go. Do you know who that is?
I think it's Jerry Jeudy. Or does he go ahead?
It's Judy.
Judy.
Yeah.
Judy goes ADP 68, and he's the last 900-yard receiver to get drafted.
That name has stuck out like a sore thumb for a while to me, and I thought that would be a pick'em darling.
Yeah, that's this one's really fascinating relative to the spread on ADP. I mean, now to have a late second in Rashee Rice all the way down to Jennings at 63.3. And I think you could argue the competition is moving in the opposite directions for them. I mean, the Ayuk stuff continues to seem more and more bearish there, whereas, Worthy, Hollywood, obviously drafting Jalen Royals, Kelsey, man, that makes me squeamish about Rashee Rice.
Yeah, I don't love it. That actually went up too, because whenever I sent out my now what tweet about Rashee, he was at 850. So they ended up giving him a boost. So people must have been hitting that higher, or they just adjusted their projection on him. But this is actually up in the last week.
Wow.
How what are the it would be interesting to look at some of the teammates here. Could you maybe do a little Worthy, Pearsall, Rome comps across those three?
Yeah. Let's start with Worthy. What do you got for guesses for Xavier Worthy, who goes 2 picks behind DJ Moore?
799.
I was gonna even maybe say I think they're gonna be a little lower. I'll say 725.
He's 850.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's encouraging.
And then we said Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky Pearsall. What is he, 650?
Yeah, good guess.
John?
685.
Ricky Pearsall's the last 800-yard receiver to get drafted. 824.
Wow, that's a nice number.
Dude,
Do you guys think that's a lobby Nez hedge? Hedging the Jauan Jennings and the Pearsall so they're not overexposed in one direction?
And I assume I assume there's not an Ayuk number right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Is there a CMC receiving number?
No, they just have rushing for him.
Dude, okay, teammate pivot here to another position. Is George Kittle higher or lower than Jauan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall?
He's lower yards because this was the Hayden tweet. I thought I saw it in the 650 or something.
He was in it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He did Ricky Pearsall. He did George Kittle and Garrett Wilson were the two he was comparing.
Okay.
Yeah. George Kittle 900 receiving yards.
Oh, it was 900? Okay.
So higher than Pearsall, lower than Jennings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is all just what are we doing about Brandon? What are we doing with Brandon Ayuk? This is what Brandon Ayuk segment right here.
Yeah.
What is Rome relative to Pearsall? I'm curious.
Oh, guess it.
I'm gonna guess what did we have Pearsall at? What did we say it was? 7.
Last 800 wide receiver.
Last 800.
825.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess Rome comes in slightly underneath there. I'll say 795.
I think that's a good guess. I'm with Pete on this one. 799.
John's gonna bet $1. 796. It's 799.
Oh,
wow.
Okay, good.
Yeah, nice. That was good. All right, last one here. This is a good one too. Some teammates involved here. All right. This is just a straight up higher or lower 600 yards on the following wide receivers as of today.
I mean, the Jack Bech. I mean, we got this. I think this is a sweep. I think this could be a lower sweep.
Okay.
I think it's lower, higher, lower.
If one is higher, I think it's Higgins. But I think this might be a trick lower sweep.
This one's pretty surprising to me, man. Do you guys have anybody for higher, lower 700, higher than 700, or anybody lower than 500 here before I flip?
I mean, Bech should be lower than 500. But I think I've already seen your tweet here. And I would be a little higher on Higgins there. If one of them could really stretch it, I would think it was Higgins.
Yeah, I think Egbuka would be my favorite, and he could be the 700 guy here.
Somebody here is lower than 500. Who is it?
It's got to be Burden, right?
I think it's Burden. Yeah.
You're right.
Dude,
Bech,
I wish I could just I wish they would let me do a rivals of Bech versus Burden, so I could just
dude, right?
just bet it all.
That would be so good.
Look at this. Yeah, so Higgins 624, Emeka 574, Jack Bech 649, Luther Burden 474.5.
Egbuka's the first guy I think I've been like quite off on, like right now. Like I was like, whoa, that one. I expected him to be higher.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. And I expected Luther Burden to at least touch 500. I mean, that's kind of wild.
Yeah. Dude, to borrow Pete's phrase, it kind of dovetails off of how high the DJ Moore one is.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Like we are like the market is just like not buying either. Obviously they're taking from DJ Moore and projecting to Luther Burden for sure. DJ Moore. Yeah. I think I said the last 1,000-yard receiver off the board.
I think this is a really good cohort to pick, right? Because they're all flirting with that lower kind of draft capital where like they're not going to be given things in the way like Matthew Golden is going to be given a role. Like I think these guys are going to have to like earn it. And a lot of the upside comes from one, like the mystery box element. Like maybe these guys, maybe Jayden Higgins is just a Nico Collins 2.0, like out on the field. But there's also a lot of like contingent upside with these guys. All of them play in offenses with like 2 to 3 alphas or 2 alphas in front, where if there's one injury, we know like all of them could easily smash this. So it's like the classic, like what they do for your fantasy team versus like the sobering reality of their median expectation.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a big takeaway here. We're playing different games. Obviously we're not trying to do, median projections when we're entering Best Ball Mania, obviously. But yeah, this is definitely sobering as far as like what the reality could be for the rookie boys that are coming out here and just stockpiling rookies. Funny to note, Luther Burden, the first sub 500 wide receiver off the board. And as far as the pick'em lobby goes, I think he's the lowest projected wide receiver. Like Xavier Legette projects for more receiving yards than him. Adam Thielen, Michael Wilson at ADP 180 projects for more. You're not going to believe this. Mike Williams, 499 receiving yards.
Wow. Don't tell John that as if he needs to be drafting more Mike Dub.
Big Mike Dub available in the last round. The Luther
that feels like a sweet
eraser.
little lower to me. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah. Oh,
but that was it. That was it for the game.
Dude, thanks for doing that. That was really good. That was really fun. It is a sobering perspective on some of these guys that we have rose-colored glasses on for right now. But,
how much do you think that Burden number is impacted by him, having the soft tissue, missing all team activities since like the very start of rookie minicamp?
Yeah, I do wonder, because this is the first time I've looked, right? I didn't see anything post draft or anything like that. I would think that this is impacted by like 100 yards by that stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say 525 before this. So 50 yards in my mind.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and we've seen, Higgins and Egbuka, their ADPs have kind of held steady. Burden obviously falling, now into the hundreds regularly. I think I got him at like 125 in one of those Schnauzer drafts like last week at some point. Like he'll fall, and now Bech is obviously starting to fall more. And I would expect Bech to kind of get closer to the like that 150 range, like settle in by like McMillan in those guys. But yeah, really interesting numbers there for sure.
Okay, I
had a lot of fun looking at that.
As I'm building along the side here, I just stumbled into a 3-1 for you guys. Okay,
let's do it.
Kittle, McBride, Zay Flowers.
Kittle, McBride, Zay Flowers. Well, we already talked about the Kittle one, but at like 900, McBride has to be ahead of him at like 1,000. Probably not as big of a gap as you would think.
Mm-hmm.
And Flowers, I'm guessing I think he's going to surprise maybe below Kittle. Like I would say he's like 850.
Okay.
But that seems low for Flowers.
I'm going to say Flowers is lower than Kittle. McBride's higher than Kittle.
Lower than Kittle.
So that's how I had it. Yeah.
Same thing. They're all 899.5. And the way you would rank touchdowns is the inverse of the way in which they're drafted. So it's Kittle first at 6.5. It's Zay at 5.5, and then it's McBride at 4.5.
Interesting.
And they're all, 1, 2, 3 rounds apart from.
It wouldn't be a best ball show without all roads come back to saying George Kittle is undervalued. Like it's every conversation comes back to that.
No, you got to make sure that if you're a best ball stream, you have to mention that.
Yeah.
I just have the rule in my drafts, unless I have, McBride, I haven't done it, but I'm just like, if George Kittle's in the 5th round, I don't care what my build is up to that point. I'm just taking George Kittle in the 5th round. That's my rule.
It's a good rule. It's a good rule given what we just saw.
All right, you guys want to draft now, and we can be even more afraid to click some of these names now that we know their corresponding numbers.
Yeah, we have like 1,000,001 different contests to draft. I don't know what you guys have dabbled in so far, but we have that single entry corgi. We've got poodle.
What do you? Yeah. Let's do I'll fire up a Pitbull.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, let's do it.
You want to do a Pitbull here?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you checked out. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it is exclusively 20-second clocks. Sometimes it's nice to do 30 seconds for stream, but we got 7 people here. If you guys want to Pitbull it up, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, well, first off, John and I were talking. Yeah, we like the 20-second versus like the splitting of fast drafts for these like side contests. I think that makes a lot of sense. But I was going to ask if you guys like checked out the corgi payout structure, the single entry $5 contest.
I read it on Best Ball Breakfast yesterday. But yeah, the 1 of 10, 1 of 5, 75 seat final.
Yeah, and then only in the finals are prizes rewarded, which I just think is like nuts. I love that.
76 through 37.50, $0. Yeah.
I think it's really good for single entry low dollar. Very
good.
Yeah. Like if this was like a $500 contest, I'd be less in love, obviously. Of course. Like it's like the structure itself, the parameters I would put on it is time box, low dollar, capped field size, and that I'm a big fan of it in relation to this.
Yeah. And I think the Poodle's super sick too, where you have the super small week 15, 16 pods, and then like a true week 17 is all that matters final.
Yeah, that's really cool because like you can absolutely like if you're drafting based on playoff correlation, just like ramp up the week 17 stuff with the 310 final. That's a really fun a way to do it. I kind of prefer that, just to give more people sweats in the finals.
Yeah. And Pitbull's similar. 1 of 6, 1 of 5, and then 156. So just like for the more expensive price point, you're getting half of the teams in the finals compared to the $7 one.
If you were trying to like build a rival best ball site and you were trying to get like big fast, the 101 thing you could do for screenshot equity is like mass finals number, right? Like everyone makes the finals, everyone feels warm and fuzzy about it. Everybody's screenshotting. I made the finals in the first iteration of BBM. Like
I'm gonna start doing that for my marathon teams. Like got the 100 teams into the finals. Let's go. Yeah. Got a big sweat.
Yeah.
It's like the thing where everybody has SFB in their profile. It's like everyone has like the little poodle in their bio because they all made it.
So good.
Christian McCaffrey, who's not expected to score any touchdowns. Malik Neighbors,
CMC,
Avadra. You want to do it?
Yeah, CMC.
All right,
he's healed. He's healed.
All right, let's do it.
I
feel like we've selected Neighbors a ton on stream.
Yeah. Enough with the Neighbors. Enough with the Neighbors stuff.
That's
I was just gonna say, like, I wonder if these Achilles injuries are gonna bring down CMC's price, but that could just be wishful thinking.
Oh, like basketball Achilles?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
with the looming calf stuff.
Yeah, and getting like back to this comment too, like Vegas could just be wrong. Absolutely. I think of it's another tool, right? Along with projections. And the reason I think it's particularly valuable is because we do get so anchored to ADP, as evidenced by the entire, ethos of this show of scroll the F down, etc. But even like they were talking about it on ADP chasing today. Like if you just memory wiped ADP right now, like how would you rank or where would you slot the Dallas Cowboys running backs? And like there is a huge anchoring effect to just, Javonte had been the first guy. And they said, or where would you put Josh Downs? Like, I think there's some examples where ADP really is just anchored and not maybe reflective of like current value. I have not gotten much AJ Brown this year.
Yeah.
I'm always down for Brock, but are you guys down for AJ Brown?
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, like him in London, I don't know if it's just like random, like RNG kind of draft slot luck. And I'm like not out on those guys. I just like haven't been able to get much Drake or AJ Brown.
This is interesting just to stem it into the pick'em conversation. AJ Brown, 1124.5, higher than he's 7th highest in terms of wide receiver, higher than Amon-Ra St. Brown, higher than Drake London. Right beside Brian Thomas in the pick'em lobbies. That's interesting.
Yeah, I like that. A little bit of like, just looking at last year's number and how low the volume was. And they're like, well, they are probably going to run a lot, but surely he's going to see more than 97 targets this season.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. It is really fun to think through those scenarios too, of like how few pass attempts they had. And it's like the defense gets a little worse, their opponents push them a little bit more. Man, you could really see production swing wildly back to the passing game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he was a 1st round pick last year.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at this. I'm looking at some names here. We got a bunch of badges up in here, friends and family. We do get Bijan going over Barkley. You don't see that too much these days.
Love it. Love it.
There's the influence of the Kyron pick'em. The Kyron pick'em. You got to start flipping the board with them. Get ahead, baby.
Dude,
11 and a half touchdowns.
Let's go. That's awesome.
It is kind of shocking that the highest receiving touchdown projection here, according to your sheet, Nez, is 11.5 to Jamar Chase, right? The rushing touchdown highest one is 11.5 to Kyron and Saquon, right? Jalen Hurts actually has the highest. Oh, I missed that. 13.5 to Derrick Henry. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Derrick Henry just looks like another freaking smash once again. Like
Chase Brown's falling.
We're all looking for the guys.
I'm good with Brown here. Or anyone else. I mean, Adams is off the board. McBride.
We could do Terry and Daniels as a wraparound if you wanted to.
So it's funny you say that because I was going to float something. We could pull up Devontae here and see if in a badge room no one would take naked Jalen and get him coming back.
That would be pretty fun. That would be pretty fun. I bet he would fall. Nobody. Yeah. People don't take a lot of Jalen without the wide receiver. Which I think is fine.
Who do we got in the 4 hole there with Saquon? Is that Biff?
Yeah.
Maybe he would pair him with Saquon. Who knows?
Yeah, just a thought. In the smaller single entries, I kind of do like the big team bet, especially with that 1 of 6, 1 of 5. I think you can, because generally I get a little queasy about overstacking teams early, but I think the smaller the format.
Rusty with the absolute alpha of the century.
Locker.
The Hurts locker is literally
pivot. And also here too, like I would be fine going Josh Allen here if he falls.
Yeah, I feel we've done that a couple times on stream together, and I know like how it turns out.
Yeah. What do you guys think? We could do Josh Allen, or do the Devontae idea.
I think the Devontae idea is the least on my list. I think I'd do Josh Allen or Ted.
Okay.
I'm really skittish of the Saquon drafter and the Hurts flocker on the other side.
Yeah, all right.
That's incredible.
I'll save that move for another draft.
Yeah, I mean the Josh Allen, the elite QB ADPs. I do wonder if they're going to get more fluid, or maybe it's just like it's because we're in a Pitbull and people are more willing to get their guys. But I really think that these top 3 are very fluid.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, getting Josh Allen as the 3rd off the board at 41 is pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking more about this projection stuff. It's living rent free in my head now. One other cool metric to look at is running backs that they're not even offering touchdowns for. Like, we understand that touchdowns are inherently random, but we do also understand which offenses are going to project for more, and we understand, the roles that we can project guys for and the opportunity shares. So it's interesting to see that there's no consensus in the Pick'em lobby around Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, for instance. There's no consensus around Jaylen Warren and Kaleb Johnson. There's no consensus around Roschon and Swift. They're just not listing it right now. So if you want to ape into variance, it can swing both ways. And if one of those guys lock up a role, they're going to project better than their current ADPs are if their ADPs are simply baking in, the known projection.
I think it's interesting. James Conner too. No rushing touchdowns listed in the Pick'em lobby, which I'm not really totally sure why that would be, but guess waiting for some more info or something.
What was the Kamara lines in there?
You asking for somebody that just took him in a high stakes draft?
Did you watch that video?
Yeah. 724 for the rushing yards. And that is 4.5 on the touchdowns.
Okay. Yeah, and it makes sense that his projection would be kind of like CMC light there.
Yeah, no receiving projection on him, but that's obviously like why you're taking Kamara. But 950 and 6 last year for Kamara.
Yeah. Yeah, so X spin there from the 3 holes, able to do the Devontae Jalen Hurts, which is like fairly popular as far as how
Hurts Locker's punching his desk right now. He's pissed.
He had his chance. All right. I think we probably should be in the market for a wide receiver here. I definitely still like Ridley. Anything else you guys are seeing?
Ridley's a mental tier break for me. I like Ridley more than Jauan. I think you can still get Jauan on the way back sometimes, which is
not after the top of the show.
Yeah.
Well, John, who do you got in receiving yards? I haven't even looked yet, but who do you got in the Pick'em lobby? Ridley or Jauan?
The Jauan was 924. I think I'd take Ridley.
Ridley's got to be like 1050.
899.
Fuck.
Calvin Ridley.
we fucked 899.
Damn it. We messed up. We have to draft based on these numbers.
So we start CMC, AJ Brown, Chase Brown, Josh Allen, Calvin Ridley. Jauan Jennings does go 58. The turn double taps Mixon and Harvey. Man, this is like projection season. Now we get Jerry Jeudy jumping ADP,
dude,
up here at 62.
We just manufactured a median projection lobby.
That's right.
That's great.
Yeah, so we're at a 1-2-2-0. Nothing to do with tight end here. We're not going to be taking quarterbacks. We're looking at running backs, wide receivers. We'll see what Jump Free does here. Godwin, Olave, Debo, the wide receivers, TreVeyon, James Conner, the running backs. What do you guys think?
I like Olave.
Okay. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
But I do have to ask, what's his receiving line in the lobby?
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Do you think it's higher or lower than Godwin? There's a lot of variance in it because we don't know the quarterback situation as well. But then there's the Godwin injury factor. I'd guess that Godwin would probably project for one more touchdown. Or like a 0.5 more touchdown just because the offensive dynamics. but I think
Mhm.
Olave would have a higher receiving yard number.
Yeah, Olave's 875, so not bad for the ambiguity and the dysfunction of last season. And 5.5 touchdowns for Godwin, 3.5 for Olave. Man, once you look at this stuff, it's so hard not to check.
I know.
Just,
Yeah, it's like
Pandora's
honestly,
box.
like full stop, it would be great for Underdog too in their financial interest. But when you click the expanded thing, as part of this player card to have their lines in here, that I think that'd be one, because it'd be helpful, and two, I'm sure people out of curiosity would be like, okay, now I want to go, place a lower or higher here.
It would sway. Yeah, it would sway. And like you said, if somebody's like, oh my God, Luther Burden, 474, no way. Hit higher.
Dude, that would slap for the daily contest in the middle of BR season if you were one click away from the drop down menu. You hit the drop down menu and then it just says beside CMC's name, his rushing odds for that week. And then you just click it and it moves to a separate spreadsheet elsewhere that now it's locked in a pick'em for you when you go to the pick'em lobby in the future.
That's how the Nez hedge works, right? Because you start fading guy over and over, and then you're like, let me head to the pick'em lobby and take his higher.
Rolled the 103.
Star him and then take the lower.
He's rolled the 103 3 times in the bomb, so he's jamming hires on the 101.
Yes. Matter of fact, I am.
I wanted to point out the sickness that PP Punch. How about just P Punch experienced here in this draft, because he has Jamar Chase. He's going to let Joe Burrow go. And all of a sudden Joe Burrow's coming around and he goes, oh, I'm going to do it. And then he's like, yeah, look, the guy who has T Higgins just took Jalen Hurts with Devontae Smith. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. X-Men says, no fucking way. Double elite quarterback. No Burrow for P Punch.
X-Men is King Cat pilled. He said, you know what? That QB pairing once won somebody $1 million in the regular season.
We cannot.
I'm scared of Judkins now.
Dude, that's so funny.
I do like Downs.
Downs or Cup.
Let's do Downs. But yeah, wide receivers. I think we had to catch up a little bit here. Now we're in good shape with Brown, Ridley, Olave, and Downs.
Yeah, we got fancy Wan'Dale Robinson. Everything's fine now.
Cup last week was at 850 passing or receiving yards, and now he's down to 774.
That's a big move. Mm-hmm. He must have just gotten hammered on the lower.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, whoa. And I saw I think it was 825. So maybe it's a 50-yard adjustment. But still, yeah, they took him down below 800.
Okay, let's play the game that we haven't played yet then. Jackson Smith and Jigba versus Cup.
Well, I just told you Cup.
JSN,
I think you guys can get JSN.
JSN, I'll say 1075.
See, I think based on his ADP, that should sound correct. I think he's going to be closer to Jauan Jennings than we want to give credit.
You guys want to do Aaron Jones, Hawk, Cup? You still
I would do Cup here.
Yeah, Jones or Cup.
All right. I don't get a ton of Cup, so I'll get some with you guys.
Yeah, JSN 975.
Okay. It was a little high. But yeah, off by 100.
So that's 50 away from Jauan Jennings, who goes 4 rounds later.
And what's JSN's touchdown? Is it 5.5?
6.5. 6.5.
Okay. So not awful.
Yeah, the thing obviously with the Niners guys too is you are expecting Ayuk to come back and hurting the week 17 projection on those guys, of course. But it is sticking out to me. I can't not see it now when I see Ricky and Jennings on my screen. I click them more after seeing that.
Or Kittle now too. Seeing that 899 that's the same as Trey McBride. Oh my goodness.
I know, man. It's hard not to. Brett's telling me Cup is 825. Maybe Claude messed up.
Claude lied to you.
No, it's 774.
Yeah.
I think I have a pick 'em on Cup with a lower on 825 though. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
say that what I played 4 lowers the other day, and I did lower Cup 825, lower Judy 950, lower Jauan 925, and then lower Metcalf 950.
Okay.
Kind of playing ADP there, but I did think that those were all pretty high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and lowers are just the nuts for.
They
season
are.
long. Like, I mean, they're the nuts in general, but they're definitely the nuts in terms of season long because it can.
Oh yeah, there's so
many outs to break right.
100%.
All right, so our team, we got Josh Allen, CMC, Chase Brown holding it down at running back, and then hammered wide receiver, AJ Brown, Calvin Ridley, Chris Olave, Josh Downs, Cooper Kupp. Finally starting to see Ayuk drop here. You can see what we like at 104.
I don't even know that there's a good Ayuk ADP until we get the news. You know, like it just probably won't fully materialize into like what's correct until we get the news. Like even now, like I don't even think that this is where he is before the news. You know what I'm saying? Like we're buying the pre-dip.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say Warren or Keon with Allen, or Warren as our RB3. What do you guys think?
Warren.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. We could probably get Keon on the way back, or better chance at least than Warren for sure.
And if we don't, we get that sweet tight end pocket.
Yeah, man, Johnny's been just plummeting like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I got him at like 130 on Best Ball Breakfast. It's just weird. Like I understood why he was plummeting when those initial rumors were popping up, but then that like kind of went away. And his ADP like changed, and then he's falling beyond that, which I don't know if I necessarily get.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm missing something with like, you know, is he looking for like I don't think he's holding out or anything. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Let me look. Yeah, nope.
No. Yeah, I think it's I think it's
The
I think it's just a buying opportunity.
Kelsey.
Kelsey falls. We just took Warren, so we could probably pass on our guy Skattebo. The only other would be Burden opposite Chase Brown or CMC, but I'm good with this. Kelsey dip is nice.
Oh yeah. This is an ow.
Who do you guys think's higher in the lobby, Kelsey or Andrews? Because I keep falling into this. Maybe it's not a trap. Maybe I think I'm smart, but I keep falling into this 9, 10, 11, 12 round that I come out with 3 at the onesies, like almost every damn time. And it's usually Kelsey or Andrews, and then it's usually 2 quarterbacks, or like if I do a second tight end, I do Njoku and shut down at 2, like something like that. Who do you think's higher in the
I know
lobby?
the answer.
I think Kelsey has to lead Andrews in receiving yards, and then the touchdowns are probably like the same.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I don't even want to like cue this up because like I'm like setting up for a trick question, but Colson Loveland higher receiving yard projection than Mark Andrews.
Interesting. What's Kelsey?
Kelsey is 699, and Loveland is 650.
Okay, that's nice.
699 is a big ass number for Kelsey right now. The shell.
You think so?
I don't know. 699. It's like it's a lot of yards for a tight end, dude.
I mean, he got 820 last year, and I mean, like, how much slower of a drop off are we expecting? Yeah, I'm of the belief that the more weapons around Kelsey, the better for his range of outcomes. Personally, but I don't know because they were just like not a fun offense last year. But if they're like efficient and moving the ball a lot, I just think that opens things up for Kelsey.
Yeah, like someone smarter than me could probably overlap route trees and tell us that Rashee Rice is actually bad for Kelsey, but
that's what
I don't
Norris
definitively
thinks.
know that.
But
is that what Norris thinks? Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing too. Like, I think that it cuts both ways, right? And the price you're paying on Rashee Rice is like, no, Travis Kelsey should be like a 15th round pick,
right?
Right now.
Yeah. Splitting the difference.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have a lot of Rashee. I don't think.
If Rashee under 1K, then Kelsey over 700.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. there is this also like looming in the back of my mind, like save him for the postseason run, last kick at the can, like Gronk style, like Gronk coming back to Tampa Bay, except for Kelsey never leaves, and he's kind of like not really playing, but he's out there in the beginning of the season, and they're using like we're sitting here for like BR week 4, and we're like he's only on the field for like 35% of snaps, like this doesn't make sense. Should we start playing Noah Gray in our 150 set?
Oh, dude!
Yeah.
Imagine if Noah Gray pops off a la Likely in week 1. In week 1, man,
Dude,
and then he starts going.
somebody's sure it's gonna be on the ground somewhere.
We're about to pick here. I would say we could do Ramondre or we could do Tyler Warren. We have Downs, and the chat hated our Kelsey pick, so you could toss him a rookie bone. Anything you see?
I'd say Ramondre or Warren out of those. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I think I'd do Ramondre because we can. Did Loveland go on the other side to the Kaleb drafter already?
No, he's here.
Yeah, it gives us 2 outs at making the chat happy with either of those. And then I think Ramondre is like a bit of a tier break there in my mind.
Yeah, I think Ramondre, a nice RB4 there. So we got Josh Allen still holding it down at QB, CMC, Chase Brown, Jalen Warren, Ramondre. Funny we did Jalen Warren, Ramondre after showing the TreVeyon Kaleb slides. AJ Brown, Calvin Ridley, Olave, Josh Downs, Cup, and Kelsey at tight end.
Not bad.
I understand like Kelsey FUD, but you cannot say taking Kelsey at 113 is at his ceiling.
Yeah. Wait till BR week 2, man. Like,
yeah.
Let me see. Main slate week 2 or week 1. Main slate Kansas City versus the Chargers. Yeah, he's going in the top 4 at tight end every single time.
It'll be like the Kamara thing, right? Where it's like, yeah, you could be worried about him falling off or whatever, but he's gonna project like a top option for as long as he's going. So I think we do a bill here. Do you want to do Ray Davis or Kincaid?
Yeah, I think maybe just Kincaid. What do you think?
Yeah, me too, Kincaid.
And you hate Kincaid, Nez. Yeah.
Oh, I do. I can't stand it. But I think I've been recently converted based on his on his projection in the pick'em lobby.
What is it? The new
let us guess this one, because I think it'd be shocking if it was above Mark Andrews, but it's somehow going to be above Mark Andrews. It's going to be 585.
So like
it's 599. Sorry, I feel like I already so much spoiled it, but yeah, you're right. It is above Mark Andrews.
That's above Mark Andrews.
Yeah, Andrews is 574.
Wow, dude.
That's crazy. Yeah. Is it what for likely? Is that kind of contributing to the Andrews number being so low?
I don't even think he's listed. No, they don't even have likely in here.
Adam just cracked me up in the chat. You're not drafting Travis Kelce. You're drafting Taylor Swift. Remember that, boys.
We got some wild takes in the chat today. Brenton Strange, top 5 tight end. Quid Pro doubling down on Kelsey being drafted.
100%. That's incredible.
I do love football only best ball crowd. Like it's really warmed up to me for the bid equity of like, tell me you don't play projection laden sports every single day when you're coming in here with these takes.
Where you get where like I get just absolutely terrified to like say a statement like that when like Travis Kelce could absolutely return like round 3 tight end value in lots of scenarios.
I think our new angle is making satirical videos that only our community appreciates as satirical, but we're like doing like the pound the table for guys. Like basically doing the counselor bit, but nobody knowing it's a bit other than us knowing it's a bit.
There's a market.
That's probably Davis's best lane.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. All right, let's see what we want to do here. Ray Davis got drafted. There is one other bill here in Joshua Palmer. If we wanted to keep stacking there, a 6 wide receiver, I think definitely makes some sense. Jayden Blue falling a little bit here What do you guys think? 1-4-5-2.
I think I lean Palmer. Yeah, because we have CMC. I was gonna say like Gurando's interesting, but are you cool with that?
Yeah, I'm good with it. I was thinking about ways to not get froze out at quarterback. I wanted to check, but 20-second shot clock. But let's take a look at the quarterback situation right now for a sec, Pete, because this is that
we have a pick.
area.
Yeah, I think we'll be good there. I mean, we're
doing it again. We do those two together all the time.
Who? Cam Ward?
Yeah.
He went. No, this team has Aaron Rodgers checkdowns to Jalen Warren written all over it.
Nice.
We also have Darnold that we could do with Cup.
Sure, yeah.
We could also play like Bryce Young opposite Cup and build out a Carolina backstack, which I'm always down for.
I think that might be my favorite pick on the board right now.
We lost Ward. Yeah, let's do Bryce.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let me just double check. No bye week issues there. I think Josh and Bryce are a nice little combo there.
Yeah, I've been really noticing this in my slow drafts where it's like, you're not in the room focusing on the team, looking at the draft board, and you're just rapidly making like 25 picks. That like if I don't hit that pocket that I was alluding to earlier for the onesies that I like, I get froze out every time because all of my rankings and all of my tools and stuff basically never tell you to push up quarterback in this range. Yet every drafter who's a phone shitter bro does. So like I'm really cognizant in the fast drafts now to be like, don't get caught with your pants down. Like just, reach 10 picks to make sure you get a second quarterback, even though we do have Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny because I generally have those same feelings, but it's when I don't have the elite quarterback where I'm like, fuck, like I want to get 3, and if I don't start taking them now, I'm going to just get completely boxed out. Whereas like Josh Allen with Young, we could have done Josh Allen with Danny Dimes. We could have done Josh Allen with Tyler Shuck. Like, so I think on this team I wasn't as panicked, but I still do like getting Bryce Young.
Are you comfortable on a build like this? Just 2 quarterbacks then with Danny Dimes as the second and Shuck as the second? Because like in my mind, we're still going to take one of those 2, but maybe I'm just a little 3 QB pilled.
I don't mind. I like that 3 QB angle. Like if you do the Uber punts with Allen, like Allen, Jones, Shuck. But I'm completely comfortable with just Allen and Young.
Okay.
I think so too. I would probably prefer 2 with Young being the second here, but I'm like you. If I'm like taking a punt, then like I'll add one more. Like I love taking Jackson Dart on a team. I think that's when I have permission to do so. That's always a lot of fun.
Yep.
I wonder. I didn't think to look at any of the quarterback stuff in the lobbies yet. I wonder if they have like Jackson Dart and Shuck and like guys like that.
I don't think.
Henry goes. He could have been fun with Ramondre. Rico would have been fun there. We got Wandell, Jalen Knoll, Alec
Pierce, Danny Dimes double.
I like Pierce the most out of what we see.
Yeah, and we have the downs there. Get a 7th wide receiver.
Can we type in just like Panthers? Just do a little star method. So you can keep an eye on Sanders and Coker.
Yeah, Jatavian and Coker. I refuse to give the people in our draft the billboard of the queue, even though we talk it out. I just
My fault.
No, it's fine. It's just my personal thing. It's just they just disappear suspiciously when you put them in the queue.
Shipley would have been a nice bookend to our running back room.
That would have been with But I will say, do you know what we could do here? Were you gonna say Giddens?
I was gonna say not Giddens because I didn't want to make like the full onslaught. I wanted to take Samson now. Now that we had the conversation about the lobby and how they're not that far off, and it's like we got a pretty strong early capital running back room. Gives us some week 17. Not that it's as meaningful in this contest, but yeah.
So now we have 2 more picks. We are at a 2-5-7-2. I think a third tight end would be nice because we just drafted Kelsey at his what was it? At his
Yeah.
ceiling.
His ceiling.
At
Yes.
his ceiling. Yeah, so we need a
20 picks
third
past ADP.
there. But I think we can kind of do whatever. I think our wide receiver room is now pretty solid. Brown, Ridley, Olave, Downs, Cup, Palmer, Pierce. So I think a tight end and then kind of a luxury final pick there.
Yeah, I think if I'm drafting by myself here, when you push up your 18th round pick, or in theory, Sampson, to like fill out the roster now, that I would land the plane here with Danny Dimes plus Sanders. Like that would be like kind of my pound the table land if I was doing it myself. But if you guys are comfortable with the two quarterbacks, probably Sanders and then a wide receiver for me. But I
definitely Sanders.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pigeonhole myself into like that last pick though. Like I wouldn't say like, oh, it's got to be Dimes or something or other. When I have a team that looks like this, and I'm like, I think my wide receivers are set. I don't need that third QB, and I know I'm taking that third tight end. Like, that funnels me to running back, and trying to pick a running back that can be a huge benefactor of like contingency, and just like trying to hit a home run. I think that's what this roster is set up for us to do.
Yep. There's also two, we got Hustlin in the chat asking, who do you think starts and plays in Indiana, Jones or Richardson? I think all of us are leaning Danny Dimes these days.
We are.
It's an interesting conversation though when Darnold is still on the board too. Darnold's still on the board at 200 here.
That does make me ponder.
The other thing is, I will say, I think the most important pick to this team is Sanders, because he gives us a third tight end and a stack.
How about Darnold and Arroyo?
Well, Arroyo just went.
Oh, they just went. They both just went. Next two picks, they both just went. That's funny.
What is this team doing? This is a 4-quarterback team by Schmo here.
Ooh,
and it must be some auto draft shenanigans there at the end.
You guys want to pay attention to the scoring system?
Schmo, what's going on here? Mahomes Fields. Then it's like, I'll get Burden, Tucker Kraft. Oh, I have Tucker Kraft. I should definitely take Jordan Love. Oh, the boys are talking about Sam Darnold. What does this team need? Sam Darnold is my 4th quarterback. Schmo, are you in the chat? What the fuck?
We need to talk. We need to talk. This is a $20 draft. This isn't pennies.
All right, let's shoot the moon with the last pick here. A-Rich, baby.
What? Over Dimes?
I'm good with Dimes. Dimes is going to play more games. And week 17
Oh, we can't even shoot the moon.
Wow.
The Sharkus. Got it.
I'm pretty sure there's been some like good news recently on Anthony Richardson too. He just came out and made comments that like the shoulder was really no big deal. He's back up. He's fully ready for camp.
I do think we could have the conversation about Coker if you want to do the double with Bryce Young and get 8th wide receiver. If you like Daniel Jones as the 3rd quarterback, I think that's close.
John, you can pick.
I'd pick Dimes.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I'm good with that.
I do think it is really close, though, who's going to be starting week 17. Like, if you guys wanted to bet on,
for sure,
more starts, I'd take Dimes over A-Rich. But the 17 one, I think I'd 60-40 and lay a bit for the Rich side.
Well, I think if you set the line for each individual week, obviously I think it'd probably be smart to tilt the Jones stuff early, but then the later you get in the season after week 10, I think you'd want like pretty close to 50-50 odds on any individual week.
Yeah. There's also this, like, if you're drafting Jones thinking he's going to start, you want him to perform well, which means they're probably winning and they're probably slightly adjacent to contention. So then all of a sudden, why would they change quarterback, right?
Right. Yeah, that's the whole thing that's scary about it. We kind of did the thing with the Fields Russ, where it's like, do you want Fields to start because then he's going to get yanked? Where it's almost like, would that season? I'm actually curious. Do you think if Russ would have started from the get-go, do you think he would have gotten yanked at some point, or would he have been able to just do what he did in the back half at the start too?
I think if he started the way Justin Fields started, he would have stayed in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't think there was anything wrong with the way Justin Fields was playing. But if he would have if he would have got off to a bad start, then yeah, obviously, I think he would have had a short leash. But yeah, if you give Russ the same start as Fields, he probably would have stayed in. It's very, very unfortunate.
All right, let's recap this team here. Oh, go ahead, John.
Week 11 bye for the Colts. Okay. If they go like 5-5 before that, they play the Chargers in there. They play Miami in there. They play Denver's defense is supposed to be good. Arizona, at Pittsburgh, Atlanta. Like there's definitely some coin flip games in there, and they're probably going to be dogs. I just eyeballing it, they're going to be dogs in at least 6 of those games would be my estimation. Then week 11 bye, you flip the quarterback to A-Rich, and they come out at KC, Houston, Jags, Seattle, San Fran, Jags to finish. Like that could be fun as fuck for A-Rich.
Yeah, or Daniel Jones could be fun as
or
fuck.
Daniel Jones. Yeah. I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth just to have the conversation because Daniel Jones is accidentally my second highest owned quarterback according to the best ball portfolio right now because 3 QB pilled and just been tacking them on at the end of slow drafts. But yeah, interesting.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where I do want to be mixing it up with like the dart types. With Dart, Daniel Jones, I still like doing those guys. I haven't done Rodgers late. I'll obviously do Darnold on like JSN or Cup stuff, but I haven't gotten much beyond that.
Yeah, I did naked Darnold by accident last night, thinking I had a JSN or a Cup.
Oh, that's gross.
But it was 18th round Darnold, and he fell. And as a third quarterback, it's probably still okay, but it's definitely gross. It felt awful.
Yeah. Goodness. All right, here's this team. Josh Allen, Bryce Young, and Daniel Jones. 5 running backs, CMC, Chase. Don't check his rushing props in the lobby. Brown, Jalen Warren, Ramondre Stevenson, and Dylan Sampson. Wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Calvin Ridley, Olave, Downs, Cup, Palmer, Alec Pierce, Travis Dust, Kelsey, Dalton Kincaid, Jatavian Sanders. So you get a Jatavian Sanders skinny stack there with Bryce Young and a Cup bring back. You get Josh Allen with Kincaid and Palmer with an A.J. Brown bring back. And then you get Danny Dimes with Alec Pierce and Downs, no Jacksonville bring back. What do you guys think?
I'm a fan. I like this team a lot. I think, I like the way, like the story that it's telling in the bets that we're making, like clearly like CMC smash season, which like you should be thinking when you take CMC. So like a nice anchor team. I like the wide receiver. We're kind of like buying the dip on some of these wide receivers as well. And anytime you get 3 and 3 at the onesies, I feel really cozy.
Yep. All right, we got Schmo logging in.
Yes.
He's taking ownership of this. All I hear is QBs late in the draft help you make them any position. LOL. Might as well take a 4th stacked, especially in smaller playoff advance rate. I think could be viable. All right, we're gonna get bullied out of the advancing from Schmo's quarterback team that starved the beast.
I can't wait to see how he does in week 14. We're gonna circle back to this. I'm gonna ask you how Schmo do.
Yeah, put a label on this one in case it makes some noise there to just be like Schmo for quarterback ?
But I got to remember the Kelsey thing too.
Yeah, Kelsey ceiling.
Yeah,
that's
right,
awesome.
There you go. That's how I should start using the name. You just like little things that you want to. You're like, someone called that pick so stupid, and you like write their username down in the description. Yeah, it's just like your receipts of like who are the people.
Yes.
This is the team that goes. I have 2 people that I'm gonna go fucking fillet on X.
That would make for such a good like a hate-fueled end of season episode where you just go for like a 1-hour stream going through your whole portfolio and just being like, fuck this guy for this one. Fuck this guy for this one.
You just have this like folder of screenshots on your desktop of every person who's ever slighted or doubted you. And then you happen to be the one that wins Best Ball Mania. Can you imagine how good that stream would be? Just like 2 hours of like $2 million and just posting up screenshots of all the haters.
Love
So
it.
that's the dream. Holy shit.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Circling back because Downs is everybody's favorite guy that they're chasing up the boards now, and everybody's getting excited about him for I don't know, good reason, question mark, I don't know, but they don't even have him listed in the pick'em lobby. I wanted to look at some of those Colts guys against one another, and they just have Michael Pittman for 774.5 right now. So I don't know, just kind of curious if you guys could set one on Downs. Would it be higher or lower than that Michael Pittman one?
I think it would be one of those where I'd have higher yards for Downs and higher receptions for Pittman. Probably would be how I would assume the market would play that one.
Yeah.
I think you just have a little more. Yeah. Really? I think you have more appeal with Downs.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking receptions would be Downs thing, but maybe I'm not up on my game.
I'm thinking of
ADP comp right now, because people who want Downs in drafts are basically pushing him to the Reed, Shakir, Golden territory, right? That sounds right to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, in our draft, those guys all went right before we picked him, right? So you had Diggs, Golden, Shakir, Pearsall, Reed, and then Mooney was kind of the aberration for jumping Downs.
Okay, so Golden 724.5 with a 4.5 touchdown. Reed is 649.5 with no touchdown option. So, yeah, I don't know. Does Downs belong where? Does he belong above or below those guys right now?
I think this is fairly priced in here. I think this range, obviously we had some kind of weird things in this draft, like Godwin slid a good bit, but I think you can make the case that Downs is part of, like, you could talk me into him, being within this Judy, Rome, Jacoby, Olave range. Like, I don't necessarily think that's crazy, but I do think a lot of the steam, I think it's kind of twofold, right? We do have a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of the stat heads kind of pounding the table for him with just how efficient he's been. So you have that, but then you also have more conviction, and probably more conviction than we should based on what you guys were just saying, in Daniel Jones being the quarterback. And I think everybody prefers Jones for Downs. I think if we knew it's like, this is Anthony Richardson, he's starting, bam, 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 I'm not sure Downs would be screaming up boards as much right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I wonder, I could easily find out, but I wonder what the highest yardage season from an archetype that's similar to him. I don't think the Wandell comp's like entirely fair, but I wonder what the highest yardage season of someone Danny Jones has supported in the past would be.
Yeah, who is Slayton had a big year with him at one point, I want to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even know. Like, I'm having a hard time thinking of what the high ceiling wide receiver was with him.
Like, Daniel Jones's career high passing yards is 3,200 in 2022.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is because he's never had legitimate wide receiver talent there.
It's an entirely fair point, entirely reasonable.
Yeah, it's jogging my memory. This was the year that they won that wild card game. And that was the Richie James, Darius Slayton, and there was a third guy that was in the mix there that all like outperformed, and they still didn't have any legit wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't Jalen Hyatt. I can tell you that.
Oh, it's so freeing to not have to see his name.
Okay, here.
On my draft list.
Isaiah Hodgins, 350 that year.
Hodgins was the other name I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, Richie James, 569, and Darius Slayton, 724. Nobody eclipsed more than 4 touchdowns.
Yep.
Wandell Robinson, rookie year as well, 227. I don't know. Maybe we're out over our skis on thinking Danny Dimes is good.
Well,
I do think this is the thing. I don't think anyone thinks Daniel Jones is good. I think they just think he's a better short and intermediate passer than Anthony Richardson. It's just beauty by comparison.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it might actually be true that it's Jones and Neighbors.
Yeah.
Like if we could split Neighbors' work and buy the games that he started and filter and see. I don't know. Anyways.
This is also like a good kind of carryover too, where it was like the Daniel Jones stuff broke in the middle of like the Superflex being released, where there was this period where it was just like, holy shit, he's such a slam dunk pick. So, maybe Henny's saying there's a little bit of that like halo effect lingering over into the single quarterback games too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Are you guys running any Membies only today?
Yeah, get into a baseball one right after this. If you guys are hanging out on our channel, you'll get funneled right over there. If you're on Pete, it's 2 clicks away.
Beautiful. So check that out for you baseball heads. Nez, big announcement for Nez. Tomorrow, at this time tomorrow, we will have just finished 18 rounds of randomizer prompts featuring Nez. Last year around this time, Jauan did a randomizer draft. Now we got to book in the Badge Bros here. Nez, how you feeling?
I'm a little nervous, man. I'm not gonna lie. You sent me that message, and like I got like a pit in my stomach just thinking about what kind of prompts are coming my way. I'm excited. I'm extremely excited. I've been watching the randomizer for a long time. This is a very cool full circle moment to be featured.
Yes,
yeah, I'm pumped.
And I'm pulling up the Discord chat with the randomizer crew. Your boy John's been helping out a little bit, and we got a bunch of fun multimedia prompts for tomorrow. It's going to be a very good show.
I haven't cheated. I haven't looked at anything, so I'm excited and also incredibly nervous.
Get ready to sing. Get ready to sing "Oh Canada" in French, bitch.
Yeah, don't worry, Nez. I think we got all the singing out of our system last week with Coach Speak Index.
The karaoke merchant.
Hang on, where was this comment? Oh, Brandon says, I'll never forgive John for not having real syrup. I can't believe we're coming up on a year anniversary of that moment.
That was bad.
Well, I got real Texas honey, so if you don't try me.
Spoiler
alert.
Yeah. Oh, also, this is a hilarious comment from Pat Moore. But we're free at last tomorrow.
Free Pat Moore, baby.
Yeah, Pat Moore. Yeah,
he's
he doesn't have to wiggle on to Best Ball Bash to get his entries in. Incredible. So yeah, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, Best Ball Bash. One of you guys, YouTube members, jumping on, drafting a team with me, and then Nez in the randomizer will be very fun. Yeah. Otherwise, I think that's it. Thanks for hanging out. And we'll catch you guys next time on Off and On the Clock. Peace.